allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome back. I hope everybody had a great summer. And I know there's a little bit left, so we'll try and keep tonight's meeting brief. We'll start with announcements. Michael, do you have any announcements?
No, I do not.
Charles?
I do. Okay, it's a general announcement, but please don't discard those gently used backpacks and school supplies. The Westfield Green Team, Westfield High School Green Team, and Tamaqua Service Learning Team will collect used backpacks and reusable lunch bags on the first day of school to be distributed to homeless and at-risk children in Elizabeth. Clearly labeled boxes will be placed in the front entrances of Tamaqua Elementary School, Roosevelt Intermediate School, and Westfield High School on Wednesday, September 5th only. I repeat, only on Wednesday, September 5th. Contact Curdy Malik at KITA125@yahoo.com. Again, that's KITA125@yahoo.com with any questions.
Thank you. Brendan? No? Kat?
Yes. The Westfield Public Schools will welcome parents to back-to-school nights at each of our 10 schools from September 6th through October 4th. Please check the calendar on each school's websites for the exact dates and times.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay. Congratulations to Westfield High School English teacher Stephen Kahn, who was among 55 educators selected to attend the 2018 Teacher Institute on Storytelling and the Visual Arts at the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. in July. The 6-day seminar brought together K-12 teachers from across the country to explore the connection between storytelling and learning and the ways teachers can use art objects with storytelling activities in the classroom. Very cool.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all parents and guardians who have completed the required forms in the Parent Back to School packet on the Genesis Parent Portal. For those who have not yet had a chance to do so, please log on to the Parent Portal on the district website to complete the forms. And just as a reminder, it's westfieldnjk12.org, and then you can click on the Parent Portal section.
Great. Thank you. Peggy?
We are very excited with the start of the school year on Wednesday, September 5th. But I just want to put out a reminder in reference to holidays that occur during the month of September. The Westfield Public School Systems will be closed for students and staff on Monday, September 10th, and Tuesday, September 11th, in observance of Rosh Hashanah. And schools will also be closed for students and staff on Wednesday, September 19th, in observance of Yom Kippur.
Thank you. And our next Board of Education meeting is going to be held on Tuesday, September 25th at 7:30 here in this room at 302 Elm Street. The complete agenda will be available on our website on Friday, September 21st on the board section of the new website. And I just want to, before we move forward, I just want to thank Marianne. She's not here, but
She is. Who she is?
oh, you moved. That's not fair. But for keeping the community in the loop this summer, the postings about what was happening in the district over the summer, Facebook, Twitter, it was fantastic. So yeah, thank you. For keeping us on the loop. So at this point, I'd recognize anyone from the public for agenda items only. All right, seeing no one come to the podium, I will turn it over to Dr. Dolan for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Well, since the start of the 2018-19 school year is just a week away, I want to take this opportunity to update the board members and the public on some of the work that has been accomplished during July and August. I've also asked our business administrator, Dana Sullivan, who in a few minutes will speak about the summer work in regards to our facilities. So here's a quick summary of some of the work. Maintenance workers and custodians were at work throughout the summer, cleaning, repairing, and updating over 900,000 square feet in our 11 buildings. Principals, assistant principals, and supervisors created and revised schedules and spent days interviewing, observing, and hiring teachers, paraprofessionals, and custodians. They were supported in these efforts by Human Resources and also by the Payroll Department. Secretaries were busy making sure that all supplies are in place, that new families were registered, and that all children were welcomed, and that all was in place before the return of the students and staff. Teachers and paraprofessionals worked with students in our various summer programs, including the Extended Year Program, the program for students who are now learning English, and the STEM camp, among others. Members of our technology department were busy across the district, upgrading systems and software and installing new devices. Additionally, our CTO, Brian Auker, coordinated our efforts to launch the new website on August 1st. This summer, our administrators had a special focus. We met and attended 3 days of professional development focused on the connection between social and emotional learning and academics. At the next board meeting, we will talk more about our goal regarding this topic. Administrators also met this summer with our security consultants for updated training in best practices for safe and secure school environments. Now, they do say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I have a few pictures to show you before I ask Dana to update us on facilities. And I want to show you a few pictures about what we call our summer warriors, who have been busy all summer, and they do the work behind the scenes that most of us never even think about. But they do this to make sure that 2018-19 will be a good year for our students. So when the pictures start, you'll love them, and you will see some of our you'll see all of our custodians, our maintenance workers, as well as secretaries and administrators. But if we don't see that arrow soon, I'm going to begin to worry.
Dana, you want to start us on
Sure.
the facilities update?
Sure. So, in addition, as Dr. Dolan mentioned, our custodians and our maintenance guys, as they do every year, really worked very, very hard, and the buildings look great and are in great shape for school opening next week. In addition to the routine stuff, we had a number of projects that we completed this summer. At the high school, so the cafeteria B, which is the big cafeteria, we replaced the cafeteria floor in there. We're in the process of replacing the boilers in the high school, which is the last school that we have to replace. That's in process. That'll be up and running before October 15th, which is the date we're required to supply heat. We have a science lab that's being completely renovated at the high school. That's going to come down to the wire literally next week, but it is in process, and that will be done. With the help of the PTO at the high school, we painted the walls and the paneling at the lobby of the auditorium at the high school, and it looks beautiful, clean, and fresh. The tech room, as you recall, last year we had a grant from the Westfield Foundation to do a tech room, to redo a room at the high school and make it a high-tech, flexible room. That room has been painted. We've installed new power over internet lights in there. We ordered new furniture that's flexible, that can be used in all different ways. That's in. We have a new floor on order. The new floor will be in sometime in September. We're hoping over the Jewish holidays we might be able to have it installed. I'm not sure if it's going to be in at that point, though. The main varsity gym has been refinished. We replaced lockers in the girls' room at the high school.
Just kidding.
We painted some classrooms. And then at Roosevelt School, the faculty room floor was replaced. The cafeteria floor there was also replaced. We finished gym floors in a number of schools. We replaced lockers in the girls' locker room, also at Roosevelt, and then we did some painting in various classrooms. At Edison, also the cafeteria floor. These cafeteria floors, I don't know if any of you have noticed in the past, but where we had to do repairs, the cafeteria floors had one tile, and then they had another tile because we didn't have the old tile to replace them. So the floors really looked great. They were in desperate need of replacement. We also refinished the gym floor there. The girls' locker room, we replaced lockers there, as well as the industrial art wing, the music wing, and outside the cafeteria. So a lot of new lockers at Edison School. All of the classrooms now in all of the schools have air conditioning, so we completed that project over the summer, running the electrical lines. We also replaced all of the door locks in Edison School. So as you know, we're working on for next summer and the summer after, door replacements. These locks will be reused on new doors, but the locks were in really bad shape, so we replaced those. At McKinley, we painted several stairwells and entrances. We replaced the stair treads that were being worn out on all of the stairways. We painted and replaced shades in a number of rooms. We refinished floors in the second floor, classrooms in the second floor, and and all of the hallway floors. We painted the gym, and we will be installing gym padding on the walls in there. That's on order, it's not in yet. At Jefferson, we replaced sidewalks. Stage curtains at all the elementary schools have been replaced. Lincoln School, we replaced carpet in the main office. And in this building, we renovated the men's bathroom, which was very, very old. And then just an update on Kaler Stadium. So, as you know, at the end of last year, we had gone out to bid in March for the renovation of Kaler Stadium, the field, turf, and the track. We awarded a contract March 19th. The third bidder filed a challenge, which he did not win. He then filed an appeal. Unfortunately, we had to wait till July 5th to get the answer from the appellate division, who upheld the lower court's decision that we had awarded correctly to the right vendor. At that point, we met with high school administration, district administration, our architect, engineer, to talk about the project and to see if we could go forward, as well as the contractor as well, with the project immediately. We didn't feel that that was the prudent way to go. We would not have been able to start right in July, because the contractor was stopped. There was a stay on him doing any work as soon as they filed an appeal. So he couldn't gear up for the project. So we were afraid that we ran the risk of losing not only the fall season, but also next spring, if he didn't finish in time. You know, if the project wasn't done by October or November, that it could very well linger into next year, and then we would possibly lose 2 seasons. So we decided to hold off the project. They're going to do some work if they can, some of the interior work, like the bathroom renovations, they'll do during the winter. And then as soon as the weather breaks, whether it's March 1st, April 1st, if we're lucky, earlier, who knows, they'll start working. The good news about this, it gives us plenty of time for them to do the shop drawings and get the bleachers ordered, so that the bleachers, which have a very long lead time, we shouldn't have an issue with having them in place next year. So we are in a good shape to do that. Our attorney is working with their attorney to draft a amendment to the contract just to extend timelines. And there will probably be some change orders involved due to price increases in steel and other things that have gone up. But as we get closer to it, we'll bring those things forward to the board.
So how does this affect, if you want to say, because, you know, we were going in and, you know, there was going to be effect on fall sports, but now it's going to affect the spring season?
Correct. So it's basically, we're in the same place as we were last year. Last year, we were going to take that field out of commission for the whole spring season. That's what we're doing again this year, so we just moved
I
it.
thought it was May. I thought we think
It was May.
Well, it was May, you're correct. Actually, it was May 8th, you're right. We
I was gonna say
decided
no,
not to
so-
hold it up to that date. We just let them start as soon as, because that was a tight time frame
Sure,
anyway. And to be honest with you, with the rain we had this summer, I don't think that project would have been done if we had started on May 8th.
And we're all set as it relates to spring sports, you know, with whether it's softball, lacrosse, track.
Yes.
That's all going to be taken care of, and then, you know.
Sandy felt it was easier to move and accommodate the spring season than it was the fall season.
Okay.
So that's why we made the decision, instead of holding it off to May 8th of next year, we would start as soon as the weather allows us to start, so that we have a little bit more time to get it done, hopefully next summer.
And then third-party users, as it relates to, you know, some of the teams within the community, the associations, you know, with field space, since that's an issue in and of itself. Has there been discussions with them?
About the timeline?
Just not only the timeline, just the fact of what fields are gonna be used for what and what's gonna be available in the spring.
I don't know. Sandy's well aware of these timelines. I don't know if she's had a discussion with them. I haven't had a discussion. We will, but we haven't as of yet.
I mean,
When's
they
that first
knew,
visit? I know, but when's
and
that
so
first
we
visit?
essentially pushed everything ahead a year. But, so my assumption is that those associations have probably been following. I know that many of them were happy when it got pushed a little bit because they got more time on the field, but
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
we should,
We will,
we should
yeah.
just make sure that everybody's in the loop and. if-
But
Well,
that
they have to
that we're
request the use
also
of the
taking
fields
what we need to do
anyway,
to make
so.
sure our fields are in good shape, whether, you know, it's, you know, a program of aerating the fields as far as we're going to the spring to make sure, you know, that they're, in, you know, because they're probably gonna be, I'll say, overused,
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
yeah.
So in terms of what change orders may be coming, our engineers feel like they're not, I mean, we're not anticipating that anything's gonna be so outrageous that the board needs to be concerned that we're gonna have to dig deeper into reserves than we initially thought, right?
No,
Too much.
well, you'll have to go a little deeper than you originally thought because of the
Understood, but we're
time
not talking
being a
hundreds
year
and hundreds of
behind,
thousands.
right?
So-
But no, it shouldn't be. You know, what they'll do is the architect and the engineer will look at when the contract was awarded, what was the price of steel at that date, and what was the price, you know, whatever date we are moving forward with, and is it reasonable that they're charging us for that increase from that date to that
But
date?
there's also a matter that we haven't used the money, so wherever the money is quote unquote invested, it's,
Right,
there's a
yes,
level of
there's
growth there
interest,
that might
correct.
put a hedge against it.
Right,
Right.
right.
Okay. Mary Ann, do you think we're gonna be able to get it up today?
One other thing, and then I will waste your time if I can't.
I jinxed you, I'm sorry, by singing your praises.
If there's pictures, I'm sure they'll be on the new website,
That's
if we can't see them
exactly.
tonight.
Jersey flag.
Oh,
I should have worn it tonight, I don't know why I didn't.
And we certainly will be able to add it to the video version of the board meeting so that people can see it as well.
Right,
I'm sorry, it's.
Technology.
Okay.
Ever
Worked
evolving.
5 times when I tested it this afternoon.
understood. All right, so that's it, I don't wanna interrupt
Yes.
you, because we're sort of out of flow. Just thank you to Mike Morris and his team, and Dana, your office, for all the hard work. Clearly it was a busy summer, so. All right, I lost my place on the agenda. I'd ask the board to approve the minutes of our board meeting. Our last meeting was held on June 19th, 2018, and the private minutes of the same date. Can I have a
Second.
second? Thank you, Brendan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Okay. Personnel. Peggy.
I'd like the board to consider items number 1 to 63. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kent. Dr. Dolan, do you have anything that you'd like to
I do,
comment on?
thank you. Tonight, I'm announcing with regret the retirement of 2 longtime staff members. Karen Marcus has taught gifted education, basic skills, and science to students at both Roosevelt and Edison Intermediate Schools since 2003. Karen is a caring teacher who developed meaningful relationships with her students. She was also deeply involved in creating the spiral science curriculum at the middle school. And Karen has relocated to North Carolina to be closer to family. In her second retirement, for over 15 years, Carmine Ricciardi has served as a groundskeeper and mechanic for the district. He takes great pride ensuring that the fields are in shape for our students while also serving as a district mechanic. Carmine will be relocating to Florida to be with his family, and we wish them both well as they continue on life's journey.
Yes, very exciting. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Dana?
Mike Dealin,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And a big thank you to Barbara Ball and all the administrators. While the rest of us are on the beach during the summer, you're clearly doing a lot of interviewing and hiring so that we can start school fully staffed. So thank you very much. Facilities, I don't have a report. Our next meeting is on September 28th. And I don't think we have anything to call out tonight otherwise, right, Dana? Long-range planning, Amy.
No report, but I'm looking forward to hearing about the social and emotional learning that our staff was able to attend this summer. That'll be good. And then maybe we'll get a meeting on the calendar after.
Perfect, thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks.
Policies, Brendan.
Yes, I ask the board to approve policy item number 1. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ken. This is to approve the 2017-2018 school self-assessment for his grades for all of our schools. Any questions?
No.
Mike Beelan?
Yes.
Wait,
Wait,
no, sorry.
Presentation, sorry.
Yeah.
So this is something that each school in the district is required by the state to have a school safety climate team. And each year, they are required to do a self-assessment based on a rubric developed by the New Jersey Department of Education. All of this focuses on harassment, intimidation, and bullying as defined by the New Jersey's law in this. So there are 8 core elements which you see on the screen, making sure that are we using a particular program to help students at a given grade level? Are we also training students on the Board of Education policy? Are the staff being given instructions separately? Are there ways where it's infused into the curriculum? We are required to have anti-bullying specialists at each school and an anti-bullying coordinator for the district. Also, there are very, very specific rules governing reporting of harassment, intimidation, or bullying, and making sure that we follow those rules that the state imposes, including the investigation procedure, and then we are required to report all incidents of harassment, intimidation, and bullying on a state website at the Department of Education. So the teams in each building are required to look at a number of items under each one of these 8 elements, and then they're required to score themselves, give themselves a self-assessment. And you can see the rating categories here. On each one, they have to rate between 0 and 3. The maximum grade any school can get would be a 78. So this is how the form looks, and the state requests that we show the form at a public meeting, which is what I'm accomplishing now. So you can see that each of our schools has ranked themselves. They're not exact, nor would you expect them to be. They're not exact between and among schools. They're not exact from year to year. Each year, you're reassessing what did we do well this year, what could we do better, and that's why we do see changes from year to year and also from school to school. So for all of the 8 core elements that I reviewed before, you can see that the school teams gave themselves the self-assessments as posted. And in the end, all of those numbers from all those 8 elements are added up, and there is a summary of the school grade for each school. On this slide, you can see that the scores range from 70 to 74. And again, we want the teams to be reflective and to truly analyze what was accomplished and what they may need to focus on next year. So all of our schools take this very seriously. We work on it every year. We learn something new each and every year. We have training every year, and we'll continue to work on that because it is a very important topic for all of our students, from our youngest students all the way through our high school students. On the last slide, I list all of the people who are serving as anti-bullying specialists this year. There have been a few changes. This information is also posted on our district website, and it is posted on the website for each and every school in the district, so that should anyone want to report bullying, this is someone a parent or a student can go to. Additionally, a parent or a student can also reach out to a teacher in the school or an administrator in the school. If you have something to report, please reach out and call anybody in the school to let them know, and then we will follow up with what the requirements are. I'm asking the board to approve this. Once it is approved, I then submit it to the county superintendent and the New Jersey Department of Education. They review it at a later point in this year. They will return it to me, and then I present it to the board again once they have approved the submission.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Dr. Dolan?
No.
Dana?
Mike Beelan?
Yes.
Kent Diamond?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Robert Garrison?
Yes.
Gretchen Olich?
Yes.
Peggy Astor?
Yes.
Charles Ostroff?
Yes.
Amy Root?
Yes.
I ask the board to approve policy item number 2. Can I have a second? Thank you,
Second.
Ken. This is to suspend our bylaw 0131, requiring 2 board meetings to adopt a policy, to adopt policy 5512. harassment, intimidation, and bullying. We need to approve it in only one reading to comply with changes in state law that we have a revised policy put in place for the start of the school year. They didn't give us the changes until the summer. So, any questions on that process?
The policy was circulated, I think,
Yes.
by Rosemary a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of it was statutory, but does anybody have any questions about the changes?
All the changes were statutory.
Were they also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just to keep it simple for the purpose of suspending the bylaws.
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher.
Yes.
Robert Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olding.
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
No, the only thing I was going to say is some of the changes were as easy as, the teams used to be called the school safety team, and now it's called the school safety/climate team. So the anti-bullying Bill of Rights has changed a bit, but the basic tenets of it certainly remain the same, and it's still as strong as it used to be.
All right, ask the board to approve policy item number 3.
Second.
Ken? This is approving for second reading policy 5430, class rank, 5431, high school grade point average, 5450, athletic awards, 5460, high school graduation, 5561, use of physical restraint and seclusion techniques for pupils with disabilities, and 7510, use of school facilities.
No questions.
Dana?
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Robert Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olding.
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And I ask the board to approve policy item number 4.
Second.
Ken? This is to abolish, the second reading to abolish policies 5465, early graduation, and 5466, graduation and yearbook fees.
No questions.
Dana?
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Robert Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olding.
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And lastly, I ask the board to affirm the superintendent's decision in HIB incidents 18HS04, 18R06, for the reasons set forth therein.
Second.
Thank you. Dana?
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Robert Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olding,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes to the HS, and I'm going to abstain on the R.
And Amy Root.
Yes.
Anything else, Brendan?
That is it.
I think our next policy meeting is the 17th, 7 PM. Be there or be square.
Calendar in front of me. Thank you.
Yes.
Curriculum, Mike.
Yes. Asking the board to approve the anticipated district field trips that were in the agenda, and there's many of them.
There are many.
I have a second?
Second.
Ken? Dana?
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olding,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And second on the agenda is the second reading for the following curricula. In English Language Arts, we have Elementary Language Arts. In Family and Consumer Science, we have Advanced Food and Independent Living. In Social Studies, AP United States Government and Policies. And finally, in World Languages, Latin 1, Latin 2, and Mandarin 4. Do I have a second? Amy?
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes.
Gretchen Olding,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And our next curriculum meeting is Thursday, September 13th.
Thank you. Finance, Charles.
Okay, I have items, I'm going to ask the board to approve items number 1 to 34. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, before we go to a vote, I do want to point out a few items, starting at item number 26. and I'd like to point them out, which accept gifts from Westfield Coalition for the Arts to be used as follows. $3,520 for the purchase of 40 Wenger student chairs for the Roosevelt Intermediate School Chorus Room. $1,358 to purchase 2 cello violin storage racks for the Edison Intermediate School Orchestra, and $1,208.20 to purchase 28 classroom stools for the Edison Intermediate School Art Department. Item 27, accept a gift of $200 from Ms. Horn and her son Andrew Gold to Jefferson School's Music Department to purchase a new instrument. Item number 28, accept a gift of $14,339.43 from the Franklin School PTO to be used to purchase 30 Chromebooks, 2 Chromebook carts, and classroom carpets. Item number 29, accept a gift of $1,750 from the Jefferson School PTO to be used for wall preparation for the mural project. Accept item number 30, accept a gift from Susan Orban of a Hammond upright piano at McKinley School. Item number 31, accept gifts from Mr. and Mrs. James Lane and the 2018 Get Better basketball camp to be used as follows. 2 30-inch fans to be used at Roosevelt Intermediate School, valued at $403, and $1,000 to be equally split between Edison Intermediate School and Westfield High School for the principals to be used as needed. Item number 32, accept a gift from Avril De Palmer and family of an original Harry Devlin painting valued at approximately $5,000. Item number 33, accept a gift of $1,000 from the Washington School PTSO to enhance productions of the Roosevelt Intermediate School Theater Department. Item number 34, accept a gift of $1,000 from Mr. and Mrs. Chin to enhance productions of the Roosevelt Intermediate School Theater Department. So definitely a very generous summer coming into the new year, and I would personally like to thank everyone listed here, all the organizations, as well as our very hardworking PTOs. It's very impressive just to see the numbers, their dedication, and you know, the effort they put forward to move the schools. Dana?
Mike Phelan,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Rob Garrison,
Yes, except for item number 3, where I'll vote no.
Gretchen Olig,
Yes.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Charles Ostroff,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Anything further, Charles?
No, just Dana, when's our next finance meeting, since I don't have it up?
I believe it's next Friday, the 7th, September 7th, whatever
Okay.
that
Yes.
Friday is.
Technology, Peggy.
I don't have an official report. Our first meeting will be on the 14th of September. But I believe everybody knows that or I hope everybody knows that we launched our new website over the summer. And I hope you all have had the opportunity to look at the new website and begin to navigate through its many wonderful features. It's a positive change for our district. It's bright, it's colorful, and it's a wonderful representation of our district with all of the pictures and so forth that are displayed on the website. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from parents and staff concerning the new website, and they like the look, the design of the website, and have remarked that it is easier to navigate and find information. We do realize that this is a new website, and we keep tweaking items and fixing minor issues that we find and are reported to us. But there have been very few problems as of this point in time, and that's a great thing. We'll also be adding items to the calendar to make it as informative as possible, and we have posted on all of the back-to-school documents online. I do want to reiterate that this is a work in progress, so if we find issues, we'll fix them. We are looking for feedback and getting feedback from staff, administrators, parents, and students, because they use it also. So I think it'll continue to be, it'll be better every day as we continue to work on it. And lastly, I'd like to thank Brian Ocker and his whole department. They did an amazing job. They met every deadline that was out there, working with Ed Leo, and got us up and running for our new school year. So thank you to him and his team.
Peggy, if community members have comments, suggestions, how do they share that information with us?
I'd rather wait and talk to Brian at our
Okay.
first technology meeting and really see how he'd like to filter information in from everybody with comments and so forth, so that I'm not inundating somebody who's not really expecting it. So at our next board meeting, I will update you on that.
Okay, sounds good. I know that probably one method could be sharing it with the PTO, because they meet regularly, and then I don't, it could filter up that way, but we'll wait for your recommendation.
And that actually is part of one of the goals that we will also present at the next meeting, so that should work well then.
Okay.
It's just like, the website looks phenomenal, and for the first time, we have a usable mobile version
Right.
where all the information that's on the full website is accessible from a mobile phone.
Agreed. Yeah, it looks great. When your next meeting, do you know?
Oh, I said the 14th.
Oh, sorry. I would ask the board to note the notes for the record. And do we have any unfinished business to discuss tonight? Any new business? I don't anticipate there are any liaison reports.
Can I just make one comment? And I know I'm tooting my own horn, but I did get tonight, I got my new board member boardsmanship certification from the NJSBA, which means I attended lots of classes and seminars over the past 2 years. You have to do it within your first 2 years of being elected to the board.
Did you have to do anything on your part to get that certification, other than show up, or did they just give it to you?
You have to show up, get at least 10 credits to classes, then you have to you have to attend certain meetings during the course of that time period as well.
Right, no. Did
But
you
no
have-
affirmative, no
Okay,
requirement.
you didn't have to submit a request?
No. And the
Congratulations.
funny thing is, I missed the meeting where they handed out the certification back in June.
But congratulations, thank you for doing that, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one liaison, just briefly. Last week, Dana and I met with representatives from the town's green team, which is great because we do try to work to be green and pay attention to the environment in the schools, and we talked about ways where we can work with each other and communicate with each other, so it was, I think, a positive meeting.
That's great. Any other liaison reports? PTO meetings will be starting soon, so make sure that you reach out to your respective schools that you're the liaison for and find out what their schedule is if they don't reach out to you. And as always, please, if you can, attend a meeting, let us know, and let's try and get someone there on your behalf. At this point, I would recognize anyone from the public for general questions, comments. Okay, seeing no one come to the podium, I'd ask the board. Oh, I'm so sorry. I looked down too quick. Please, so yeah, come up to the podium and give us your name and address.
Okay.
You look great.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Bishop. I'm a parent of 2 fourth graders at McKinley Elementary School. We weren't really prepared to come to the meeting tonight and be on the agenda, but we did express some concerns about the class size at McKinley for the 4th grade. The sections were collapsed from 4 classes to 3 classes as a result of what we understand is increased enrollment in the 1st grade. So I'm here with a handful of some McKinley parents who could make it on such short notice. We could be here in full force next month and actually get on the agenda. But we did have some concerns about the increase in class size and how the Board of Ed plans to handle it. And Principal Buno is great, and he's tried to sort of calm us down and make us feel that it's going to be okay for our kids, but we're just not sure how the teachers are going to differentiate instruction and handle anywhere from 23 to 27 kids in a class. Kids are pushing in, they're pulling out, they're coming in for specials, they're in for lunch. There are a lot of boys in the grade. So we'd like to get on the agenda where we're a little more prepared with some facts and figures, and perhaps maybe get some additional information from the board on. We have questions about, for example, the class sizes throughout the district for this grade and going forward. How will the kids in the middle of the group be challenged? The kids who have special needs get additional help, and the gifted kids get pulled out for things, and then all those kids in the middle seem to just kind of muddle along. And how will they be challenged in a meaningful way, in a productive way, so that they can progress. How will the teachers be able to differentiate the instruction among all of these kids? Which is always a challenge, for any teacher. And then, Dr. Dolan was kind enough to respond to a parent letter, and she mentioned that, Mr. Buno will, be monitoring the situation and will, see if the teachers need additional support. So we're just wondering, how will those needs be addressed, and, what's going to be done about it, and whether or not we can actually hire someone now. Why do we have to wait for a need, a specific identified need to occur when we could just do it now because we already know what the numbers are? And is there a possibility of hiring, additional support for that grade? And my other parents may have additional questions too.
So can I just respond? So we did
Please.
get your letter yesterday, thank you, and I know Dr. Dolan crafted a response. So I just want to say I get it. It actually happened to both of my sons when they were in elementary school at Jefferson. The demographics changed and they ended up getting into a larger group. So a couple things is that the board is aware of how the enrollment numbers flow throughout the year. Dr. Dolan keeps us informed of the summer, so we anticipated that it was going to be an issue at McKinley, and there's actually another elementary school in the district that's having the same issue. Luckily, we were able to, it was able to be arranged, so it's still within our policy limits, but I recognize that it's not an ideal situation, and we do acknowledge that. So it's my understanding that there's a lot of conversation happening between the administration, both the broader administration and the administration at McKinley. It's something that's going to be kept an eye on, that Mr. Bruno is aware that of the push and pull out and trying to be sensitive to when, to getting some extra support in the classrooms when that, and this is all stuff that I'm sure that you're aware of. So you had some questions for us, and if you want, typically we would make you wait to the end of a meeting, but if you're planning on coming back on the 25th, we can raise this on the agenda so that we can have a conversation at that time. At that point, actually, we'll have a few weeks of school under our belt, so we'll probably have a better sense of what it's going to look like. And in your school and the other school where this exact same issue is happening. So I guess I just want to express to you that we're sensitive to it, that we anticipated that this was coming, and I know that this conversation about how to manage it has been going on for a long time. So you're welcome to come back in force on the 25th. If you want to email us those questions so that we can get the response, to you, and be prepared at that meeting, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, we would like to do that.
Okay.
There are many more concerned parents that were able to be present tonight,
Sure.
On short notice, so they would like to have their voices heard, and we'll try to sort of align ourselves, and present, our questions, in advance. of
Yeah,
September meeting.
do you want to add anything?
I think the only other thing I'd like to say, I understand that it's new to the parents and it's a change that impacts your child. I understand that, and I would never belittle that in the least. But do know that it is, it does happen every year in Westfield in elementary schools when students get to the 4th and 5th grade, depending on the enrollment in the schools. It does happen. I can't think of a year where one school it didn't happen to. This year it happens to be 2. So it's not new. It's not new for the teachers. It's not new for the principals. But I understand it's new for the parents. I understand that, and we don't take it lightly. We do pay attention, and we will continue to. We already have. You're right. Is it a challenge when students are going in and out? They're in the class for some subjects and not others? It is, which is why you need to look carefully at schedules and talk it through with the teachers and make sure that sufficient support is there in a given moment. And that's happening in both schools. And there's another school where it happened last year and it worked well. So we don't take it lightly, but we also do have experience in doing this. It is what happens every year in different schools at different times. And we hear, and please do send your questions in case we haven't thought of that. We'll be glad to. And if we have thought of it, we'll be able to give you an answer very quickly.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Ladies,
you.
anybody else? Okay, thank you.
So seeing no one else come to the podium, I'd ask the board to approve the following resolution: that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law and harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents And be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Can I have a second? Charles, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, we are in private session. Thank you for coming to our meeting.